Good morning. We are Mitch and Heather Stortzum, and this is our Pine Haven testimony. 4 years ago, we read in the church bulletin there was a missions trip to go to Pine Haven in Montana, and I just felt led right away to go. We signed up, went on the trip for a week, did lots of work and building projects out there. At the time, I felt led that direction. Didn't really know for sure, but told Heather when we got back, and she thought I'd went off my rocker. I led the mission trip to Pine Haven last summer and took my daughter Caitlin with us, and my sister Mason, and a big group went at that time. After going out there, we both really loved it. Caitlin loved being out there, and after that time I really felt more led at that time that that was the place that we needed to be.
As Mitch said, he went out there and he just felt like he had a calling for this, and then him and Caitlin went out there, and I remember when she came back home, she was like so excited that she could not wait. She kept telling me, you gotta go back, you gotta go see it. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, you know, Mitch had been saying that he felt like we were led to it and everything, and of course I really was like, oh, I mean, I knew we did have that passion for kids because we had fostered. Yeah, maybe that is something we could do, but I didn't feel like that I was ready for that at the time. So our 20th anniversary was coming up in December, and Mitch had said, I'm gonna take you on this trip. And I remember thinking, oh, yay, we're gonna go somewhere that I wanna go. Well, imagine my surprise when he's like, we're going to Montana and we are gonna spend a day at Pine Haven. And I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know if I felt like I didn't wanna go, but you know, it was for him and he had this passion, so I thought, all right, let's go. I'll make the best of this. So we went to Pine Haven, and we spent a day there, which probably wasn't a good day for me to be there because it just so happened all the women were gone Christmas shopping, so I got to see the ranch from all the men leading me around. But was I sold on it to just pack up and go? I don't think so at that time, but I remember as we were getting ready to leave, you know, Rick was like, oh, just get a hold of Bob and, you know, talk to him and everything. So, you know, Mitch was so excited that he knew right away that that's what we were going to do, and I'm like, oh, okay. So Mitch had been in contact with Bob the whole time. So Mitch comes probably about the end of December to me, and he says, hey, Bob wants us to submit all our stuff and write a testimony. What am I gonna say? I felt like this was our passion, but I didn't think I could give all this up. I mean, like everything I had, just pack up and leave everything and go to Pine Haven. I did sit down and write my testimony, and I remember I was like crying the whole time I was writing it, and I think Mitch is like, what is your deal? And I'm like, I don't know, I don't know. I was just so torn at the time because as I'm writing my testimony, I'm reflecting back to everything that like led me to here. So I remember I finished it, and I think I was just like, I just handed it to Mitch, and I'm like, there you go, you can send it. You know, like maybe I still had this doubt. I remember when I gave it to him to send to Bob, I was like, okay, well, this is how I'm gonna be. If it's meant to be, then it will happen. So, and I was just gonna pray. I'm just gonna pray to God that He will lead us where we need to be. So that was December, and in February, I get a phone call. So you remember before, all the contact had been between Bob and Mitch. I had never talked to Bob or emailed Bob or anything, but in February, Bob calls me, and he was like going on. He was like, Heather, I got everything, and I read your testimony, and we want to have your family join our staff at Pine Haven. And I'm like, you do? You know, probably there was a shock in my voice or something, and you know, he's so excited about that, but that's the type of person Bob is. So I remember he's talking, you know, like, can you come out this month and do an orientation? And I'm like, no, we're kind of busy. And I think it was halfway through the conversation, finally I was like, did you call Mitch? Because I thought, I'm sure he would have called me. And Bob's like, no, I called you. So for me, I thought, well, that was a God thing, because I probably knew that if Bob had called Mitch first, I'm sure Mitch would have been, you know, like, yes, yes, yes. But then he would have been like, okay, I gotta call and tell Heather, and he probably wasn't sure how I was gonna take it. So it was probably for the best that I got that phone call. So anyway, we agreed to go out, and I was just gonna keep an open mind, and that's what I told Mitch. So we sat down one afternoon with Maxine and Rick, and they're going over things. And then they got talking about, you know, what we would do if, you know, if we did move out there, and about Caitlin's schooling. Now, most of you know that last year I had decided to homeschool my children, which when I went into it, I was dead set on a certain curriculum. Well, at the last minute, I changed my mind, and I chose a totally different curriculum. Well, it ended up that the curriculum I chose for my children is the exact same one that they teach the kids out at Pine Haven. So I'm thinking, okay, right there's another sign. So I felt like all this was like God was leading me there. You know, my plan is not what God has planned for me, and he was just showing me that he had a plan for me. I remember sitting down one day, and I got out my grandmother's Bible, and I just opened it, and I happened to open it to a page that had a bookmark, and the bookmark had said, "You were chosen for great things." And I thought, there it was. She had said that to me through the years while I was growing up, and even as an adult, and I just felt like, that's it, that's the sign. So I just felt like, for me, you know, here I was hesitating about it, but God showed me through all these things that, you know, his plan was for us to go out there. Mitch and I will actually be going July 12th to move our furniture and stuff, but us as a family will be going on August 1st. So I just want to continue to ask all of you here at Red Rush just to pray for us.
This is just a small portion of the journey that God has laid out for us, but this is just the beginning of the next chapter in our life. If you felt led in any way whatsoever, please take that step of faith. Step out of your comfort zone, and you can do something amazing. Please feel free to sign up for the next Pine Haven mission trip and come visit us. We would love to have you. Thank you very much.